In this video, let's go over how to upload high-quality uncompressed video from your phone using MiMojo. All right, real quick, you're watching Video Brand. Special thanks to our sponsors for helping make this NAB coverage possible. Massive, Metricool, OpenReel, AdSpective, and Vestigit. Be sure to check them out. Links are in the description below. And now, back to the interview. All right, I'm here with Mick from MiMojo. Mick, tell me a bit about MiMojo.
Okay, so MiMojo is a solution to send mobile video files from your phone for professional uses. And what do I mean by that? I mean, right now there's just not a good way to send mobile files that makes sure it's full resolution by default, and that also with that source metadata and even the captions for professional workflows. There are a lot of ways, but people don't realize, even with, let's say, an iPhone, unless they click the settings, it's going to get compressed. WhatsApp, 1080 file gets compressed to 540. You don't have a lot of controls. And mobile journalists, Mojos in the field, want to shoot and they want to send it. You can't put technology in the way. So what we've done is we've streamlined the interface, made it really a super intuitive upload wizard. Step one, select your video files. And when I mean it's optimized for mobile video, I mean we have features like you can trim it. So let's say you're outside the courthouse and waiting for that perp walk, and you're rolling for 5 minutes and you got 10 seconds. Well, you have bandwidth considerations because you want to send this footage back, right? So you don't want to send the full 5 minutes, so you can trim it down to that 10 seconds that you need right there at the point of upload, and it preserves that source resolution. So that's step one, select your files, trim them if you need to. Step two, fill out the metadata. It's an app, so it's auto-filled with your name and your email and things like that. But what about the title? What about the description? Okay, you fill out your metadata form. And then the third step is it's a summary screen. So it tells you what your internet or what your connection speed is, whether that's Wi-Fi or cellular. It computes how many files you're sending, a gigabyte, let's say, and then it computes what the upload time will be. And this is really, really important information for mobile journalists in the field, because sometimes you have a good connection, and sometimes, recently there have been events where 10,000 people there, they just have a bad connection. So when I say it's full resolution by default, I mean that's the setting, that's a default setting, but we do give you the control to say, you know what, it's okay to compress it in the camera. It's okay to send a smaller file right now, and I can upload the full resolution later. And you press a button, it leverages the iOS, compresses it down to a decent resolution, and sends it faster because it's much smaller. And then when I say it's a better way to send and receive, then the receiver in the free version, and anybody can use this to receive. You can send to anybody. They don't need an account. They essentially receive an email with a link, and you download the media files, so that's the video files, and then you have the metadata sidecars. So basically it's better for the sender. Upload is really robust, really good protocol, very reliable. And then the receiver, it's very organized. Everything's together, you know who it's coming from. And if you need that metadata, you have that later. So that archivists like this, because we're growing value of the archive, as opposed to getting the low resolution with no metadata. It's a mess for everybody. And then once you use it, once you publish it, it disappears into the ether, or it's sitting on a hard drive that somebody's going to delete someday. So we're really trying to add value to this footage.
Nice. And if you were on the receiving end or the requesting end, like let's say I knew, like someone maybe not very technical, I needed to get files from them, didn't want them to email them, and then they get super compressed. Does this work that way too? I can kind of send a request link or something?
Yeah, so we actually have other features. So the basic version is you just send files and you can download the files. But for our Pro and Enterprise features, we actually have an assignment manager. So if you're an assignment editor and you come up with an idea for a story, you can actually assign that to somebody in your network. It works similar to like Slack, for example. You can add somebody to your Slack. You can assign that to them. They can accept it. They know what it is. They know when it is. They can ask questions. You can add notes and things like that. And then when they shoot that footage, they upload it through that ticket, let's say. That's kind of how it works. So it's very, very streamlined, and that's something that, again, for mobile, there's not a good system for that. Other features, other pro features are, if you think of it this way, the files are going up into the cloud. That's how we're sending them. So once they're in the cloud, you can do a lot of things with them. We use AWS, so we can actually transcode those. So we give the enterprise users the option to, when they click that download button, maybe they don't want the full res files. Maybe it was shot at 30 frames a second. They actually want to transcode it to 25 frames a second, something like that. They can actually adjust those settings at the point of download, and that's what they download. They download the files to their specifications.
Cool. And do you know how the pricing structure is going to work?
Yeah, so we'll release the pricing, when we release the app, but it's similar to other file sharing apps like Dropbox and WeTransfer. There's going to be a free version, and we really want this to be something that everybody uses. So it's going to be packed with features that most everybody can use. Then there'll be probably a $12, somewhere around that price point for a pro version, and then somewhere around maybe $23 for a business version. And then, of course, there'll be a la carte features like transcoding. We'll probably hook into storage and things like that eventually. AI passes, speech to text, all those things. There's a whole menu of items that the business users can also use.
Nice. And do you know the release date roughly, and where can people find out more
You
from
get
you?
in trouble when you give a specific date to release a beta, but sometime this spring. We're hoping in the next month or so, and we're actually talking to some enterprise partners right now to get them in early, because we not only want to get their feedback, but we want to bake in some of the features that they're asking for. So, we're going to be integrated with a lot of different apps and platforms. Enterprise, they're going to want to send directly to their MAM, for example. So we want to work with them to make sure that the API is working, everything like that. We're going to integrate with Dropbox. We're going to integrate with all sorts of other platforms. What we're trying to do is we're trying to own the point of upload, which if you don't do well, it's a complete mess for everybody, and it limits your options, and the footage doesn't get used, and you can't grow ROI. And then the opposite is true. If you use MiMojo and you do it well, you increase usage, you boost speed to market, and then you can actually grow ROI. And of course, we're going to connect to the likes of Getty Images for licensing and monetization, stuff like that. So we want it to be as flexible as possible, but we want to do that one thing really well.
Nice. And where can people find out more info?
MiMojo.co. That's our website.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks for watching the video. For more of our NAB videos, be sure to check out our playlist right here, and be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next episode.